Hey guys, what's going on? Hermdo back with you. Just doing a little bit more of a serious self-reflection video today. I just got back from the gym a couple hours ago and I went up there basically. Yeah, I haven't been in like a month and a half. Believe it or not, I do have a gym membership if you can't tell. I have lost a little bit of weight, about 12 pounds over the last couple months, which is not much, but just I got to step up my game definitely. And I've been getting some comments on my videos. When you're a guy who looks like me, you put yourself out there like that when you have the camera on you. It's hard to avoid that kind of thing. And some of my habits have been very bad. Last couple of years, I can't lie to you. Obviously, I'm a lard ass. What are you gonna do? And it just got to this point. I gotta just every once in a while I make this decision like I'm not gonna drink anymore, I'm not gonna eat fast food anymore, and then I backslide. Shit happens, man. But most of the comments I get, like the 97, 98% of my comments I get are positive, but you get a couple people calling you a fat ass. It's just par for the course. But it's just at some point you gotta just kind of understand, like, yeah, it's a shitty thing to say to somebody, but at the same time, it's like, man, I can't. I got no defense against that shit. So, it's just I'm making a concerted effort to be less fat, essentially. But I think a big part of that, physical health and mental health. That's what I want to talk about. Just as far as that goes, because I think one feeds into the other. Because if your mind isn't right, your body's going to suffer for it. And I really, last few years, have had some pretty serious mental health issues, a lot of issues related to depression. I have bipolar disorder, and I was going to kind of make a video discussing that and how I was diagnosed and whatnot. I might make a video about that in the coming weeks or months, but just like what I do, like speaking about like mental health, you have to. For me, my problem is like motivation, just getting out and doing stuff. And when the weather is cold like this, it's really hard to get motivated. But, you know, like today, me and my dad got together. We walked around the gym for a little while. Not the gym, but the mall for a little while. We probably about a mile and a half. And then I went to the gym a little while afterward just to do some strength training. And man, I'm in bad shape, dude. And I've been moving stuff in and out of my place. My last place is right down the street, and I've just been walking back and forth carrying stuff, and I feel winded, man. I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm all sore. I gotta like sit down. I'm just like, god damn, how did it get this bad? And I just let that shit go because part of me was just like, I didn't give a shit. I would just like whatever, take my health for granted. And I had a little bit of a issue a few weeks ago. I went to the doctor. I had this pain in my back. They thought it was my kidneys. And I'm just thinking, oh, fuck. What happens if I have to do dialysis? And I was thinking to myself, all the fucking pop I drink, all this shit, all the Mountain Dew and stuff. And I didn't have kidney stones or anything. They ran a bunch of tests on me. They had all this stuff. And I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. All the tests came back, negative or normal. But just still, it's kind of like a wake-up call. Like, hey, man, you can't be doing this kind of shit, I've had to take like I have had high blood pressure and stuff. All these issues related to my back, especially. You know, it's tough out there. It's tough. I've been to physical therapy. I injured my back a while ago, but it still flares up every once in a while. My sciatica acts up. It's like your lower back starts hurting you. You try to do a little bit of physical activity, and man, it's tough for a guy like me. When you don't take care of yourself, everything becomes a huge task. Even simple stuff you take for granted. It's just, man, you just gotta take care of yourself, and I haven't been, but it's like one thing I like to do, with the content I make, it's like therapeutic for me in a way. I get to discuss things, world events, certain things on this YouTube channel. I've been getting a lot more subscribers lately too, which I'm very glad. If you're new to the channel, welcome, thank you. But it helps me out. I think it's good for my mental health to be able to have a space where I can talk to people and about different things. in a positive light, because for such a long time I was just being so negative online, and I still see people trapped in this like cycle where they just do nothing but expose themselves to all this negativity and this shitty, horrible, like the worst aspects of human nature. They just delve right into it, and they see all this horrible, fucked up stuff, and they just become like numb to it. It's like I found myself getting numb to it as well. That's not good, man. It's not good to not have like a disgust reflex to that kind of shit, to be like desensitized to that stuff. You hear all these horrible stories, and it's hard to look away. And moreover, back to the point of my video, I talk a lot about job markets. I talk about um, people with people who are struggling financially and all this negative stuff, how much people are struggling financially and mentally. And it's just, I want to make an effort to be more positive and maybe talk about some solutions every once in a while. I still want to talk about the problems and bring some of those things to light as best I can, but I want to basically kind of work towards like a goal where, we can have some kind of dialogue about realistic things we can do to like better our financial situations. Right now I'm pretty much living in austerity. All the stuff I own, it's pretty old. I think I discussed that in one of my videos too. A lot of stuff I've just kept for years and years. I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff too. I've got rid of a lot of like like I had a dining room set that's gone. That was old anyway, but I got rid of that. Got rid of a couch, coffee tables, speakers. I sold speakers. I had a camera. I was like, I'm gonna be a photographer, and I spent like $600 on this camera. I took a couple dozen pictures, and then I just I kept it in my closet for like 2 years, and I wound up selling it for like a third of what I bought it for on Facebook Marketplace. I'm glad I got any money for it at all, honestly. But, people spend, and I had some comments today talking about how like people spend money to it's like retail therapy in a sense, where it's like you spend money, it's like you're panic buying or you're doom spending and shit like that. And I've been that way before, where just like, fuck it. You have this feeling that I'm not going to be able to retire. I'm not going to be able to do X, Y, or Z. The future has been robbed from me, so I'm just going to spend money on whatever, all this stupid shit. And I still do it too. Most of my money goes to essential things, food and clothing and gas and car repairs and bills and whatnot. But, I still spend money on dumb shit every once in a while. But today I was at Dick's Sporting Goods and looking at all the expensive like Yeti tumblers and Stanley cups and whatnot. And I'm thinking, ooh, looks fancy. And I'm just like, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. And I walked away. It's hard to do. Just like, oh, it's only $30, it's only $40, but that adds up. That adds up. And I got to watch myself, I'm living on the cheap right now. My rent is very low, which is good. But I still got to watch out. I'm making decent money now. I'm probably doing all right if I wouldn't. But all these little expenses, that they just add up to you. And, you go to the store. Like I went to B-Dubs yesterday, and I got a burger and a beer. It was like $22 with tip. And then I go and I buy a vape for like $20. And then I put some gas in my car for like another $20. So that's like $60 out of my wallet. And you still have it in your head like I have $300 in my bank account, and you just realize like in an hour I spent like $60, $70, and then you're still thinking I have $300 in that account, and you're like, oh no, you don't. And then the worst feeling ever, it's just like you're spending all this money, and then you check your account a couple days later, you're down to like $120 or even less. And you're just like, what the fuck? I do that shit sometimes. I've gotten better at it. And a lot of these big expenditures are like food. And I've been cutting back. I haven't eaten out much. I mean, I had B-Dubs, but that was the first time in a few weeks I went to B-Dubs. And, it's so easy to spend money on like fast food and stuff like that too. But It's just, hey, it's really unhealthy. Like I had McDonald's a few weeks ago. I wasn't even hungry, and I'm just like, I just stuffed this double cheeseburger into my face. I don't even know why I did it. I just like, why am I spending money on this shit? I don't even enjoy eating it. It just sits in my gut like a rock, and I'm just like, it's bad for your wallet. It's bad for your health. You know, I'm sure there are worse things for you than a McDonald's cheeseburger, but still, oh, and all this other shit. But then it's bad for your mental health too. Then you feel all guilty about it. Your physical health affects your mental health. You feel bad physically, like your mind. I just got over the flu. I had a nasty case of the flu, lasted a couple weeks. It's just like it knocked me on my ass. I missed some days of work for it, and you guys saw me. I was making videos coughing and hacking and shit. I was like, why am I doing this? But no, I got over it. I feel a lot better now, but you still got to watch yourself, and oh, I hear all this bird flu shit going around. They're finding cases left and right and all this stuff. I don't know what that's going to turn into. God almighty. I always get nervous whenever I hear about some new disease floating around. I'm sure you guys do too. But, I'm trying, I went to the gym today, did some working out, worked up a nice sweat, did some walking today, really watched what I ate. I had like a bowl of cereal, Special K, and then I had like a tuna fish sandwich for lunch. And I'm just chilling right now because I'm doing this thing where I'm not eating if I'm not hungry. So many times you just find yourself eating something just because you're bored. I have to like look at myself in the mirror and be like, you're not hungry, you're just bored. You're not hungry, you're just bored. And it's just like, God, get those shitty habits out of here. And I've been eating less. I'm going like 7-8 hours between meals, doing the best I can, spacing it out. And I really don't feel that hungry, which is kind of unbelievable when you look at me. But, it's those things, it's just stuff like that. It's difficult to break that cycle, man. And for a guy like me, because like when I said, like your mental health affects like your physical health, just like you're depressed sometimes and food becomes your friend. We talked about like doom spending and stuff. But it's just like when you get to this stage, it's just like, okay, I just like I'm miserable. I'm comforted by fast food, by cheeseburgers or by pizza or tacos or milkshakes or whatever. I'm just gonna stuff my face, and you feel better for a little bit because it's delicious, it's greasy and full of preservatives, but hey, it's delicious. So you feel good for a little bit, and then you just got this like, oh man, I probably just gained 3 pounds just there. It's going to take me all day to work this off if I even can. Then you got to go to the gym and do that shit. But God, it's just like motivation's a big thing too. I'm living with a roommate now, and I was talking with him, and just like, we're buddies. I know the guy, and I just tell him like, hey man, if you see me, just remind me to go to the gym. I got to have like a little reminder or something. And hell, I mean, you guys can leave me comments and shit like that. Say, hey, get to the gym, fat ass. Or you see me eating something unhealthy on video, yell at me. I'd like to start streaming at some point. I'm going to wait for I get for more subscribers. But yeah, but, I'm trying to cultivate a more positive persona, a more positive attitude, and actually discuss like things that help, and getting away from negativity online, being less online. I'm making a concerted effort because I'm going to be online for a while, during the day, most days. But like on the weekends, just like, because I work 10-hour shifts and I got like very little time to do anything else. So I don't spend too much time on the internet during the week, but I kind of make up for it, on Saturday, Friday. I get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, and I'm online, but I try to mix some more activities in. I do some reading. I do some writing. I go to the library sometimes. That's what I like to do. There's a really nice library a couple miles from here. And I go up there. I bring my tablet. Sometimes I got some books on there. I got some manga on there. I sit and I just read it. I bring in my mug, my like travel mug. I got some tea or coffee in there. There's this nice little seating area with these armchairs. I sit in the chair. And they got these nice floor-to-ceiling windows, this little like wooded area behind the library. It looks out onto that, and it's so calming and nice, and it's so warm and comfortable in that library, and it's so quiet, and they're just so nice to be around some peace and quiet. I tell you, that's a big thing for my mental health, just being around peace and quiet. Whether you're in the middle of a park or in a library or wherever, but you just got to get the fuck away from people. Me personally, I need a lot of alone time to recharge my batteries. And it's like when I'm around big crowds of people, like at work or at the mall or going shopping, that's a big one. It's like I gotta psych myself up to go shopping some days. Because sometimes I only have like small windows of time throughout the week where I can go shopping, and it's always busy. And it's just like the kids are screaming, people are arguing, people are on their phones, people are milling around. There's like, you try to get down an aisle because you want to buy some pepper, or you want to buy some whatever. I'm a Midwestern guy, so I'm always buying ranch. But you go down the aisle, there's a million people, and there's some old lady on a hover round, or some lady with like 6 kids. They're just taking up all this space, and it's just so annoying. There's too many fucking people in the world, man. I sound like a misanthrope, but some days it's hard not to be. I try to be more positive and have a more positive attitude. I look at more positive things. I try not to let certain, aspects of human behavior get to me and like shape my feelings about humanity in general. I try to look for more positive people. I watch like if I'm going to watch some videos, like I want to watch like positive stories about like people doing good, positive things, and remind myself that not everybody is a piece of shit. And, for that kind of stuff, for me personally, just unplugging from like the negativity, and you talk to people, and you still see some people that are they're almost like paranoid. They think everybody's out to get them. They think the world hates them. They're like victims. They're like this persecution complex. It's insane. And you just know this person does nothing but go online and read like conspiracy theories and get all this bullshit fed into their brains like 24/7. It's just this constant cycle, and it's hard to break out of. And I feel myself still falling for it sometimes. I watch some YouTube videos and they're talking about some weird shit, and it's just like, I can't watch this. I gotta turn this shit off, because I just don't want to I don't want my emotions to be manipulated by this content creator. But at the same time, if you're gonna use the internet, you're gonna see shit that pisses you off and makes you like really, really worried about the future of the country. But it's hard, to being positive these days. It's hard to have a positive attitude, but I think it's necessary to try to work towards a goal where you can be at peace. And I hear these guys in my comments, this really young guy who's like 20 years old. He's telling me like he just can't make it. He's just not making enough money to live on his own. His parents don't understand. He just doesn't care anymore. And I wish I could say something to him, just like, keep your head up, be positive, don't let people get you down. That sounds all well and good, but it sounds like this pop psychology shit. I wish I had better news to tell people, basically. But I'm going to make a concerted effort to be more positive and talk about like actual solutions and discuss things that I do that help me, get through these tough times, and mentally, physically, because it's about, what you do. And, I've been doing this. I've been eating more vegetables and less garbage, and that helps me. I feel better. I have more energy. Just like it's just like I feel so good. Like I had like some vegetables for dinner last night, some bags of steamed vegetables. I had some rice. I got this rice cooker. It's pretty cool. But just eating something that isn't disgusting, greasy food, like full of corn syrup and nitrates and all this shit, and you're just like, wow, this feels good. You wake up in the morning, your stomach's not hurting you. You actually have some energy. You don't feel like you're gonna die. You don't feel like you're gonna shit your pants. It's just like, why don't I do this every day? And then you go out and you buy some slop, and it's just like, because it's convenient, We have a half hour for lunch. But you start packing a lunch, it's not a problem. But sometimes it's just like you don't have time, and you gotta like meal prep. You gotta like make the extra effort to do that shit. And I do too. I do too. You know, I've been doing this stuff. I'm making like tuna fish. I'm making coleslaw. I'm making all this stuff just to just to eat throughout the day. Just bring in these little Tupperware containers to work. Just snack on it throughout the day instead of just going out to some burger place. I mean, there's all these places around. It's expensive too. It's expensive too. Like a fucking like you go anywhere. You go to like Jimmy John's. You go to McDonald's. You're spending between $10 and $15 just for like a combo meal. It's insane these days. It's insane, like the way but that's a money health. It's a money thing. It's a health thing. When you improve those two things, you're not worried about this shit because that money will fly out of your fucking pocket before you realize it. Like I said earlier, but it's all interconnected. You make one positive change, and it has like a trickle down effect, and it affects other aspects of your life more positively. And I've discovered that. It took me a while to discover it because I'm a cynical guy and I don't want to believe that kind of shit. I wanted like the quick fix. Just like I want to be able to snap my fingers and like lose weight or snap my fingers and have more money. That's just not the way it works. It's just, or like snap my fingers and be healthier. It's just, you got to make that effort and it's hard to do because I struggle with it. Oh, sorry. I thought I was going to burp there, but sometimes you just gotta drink some Coke Zero, of course, and just burp your ass off. Oh, delicious. I got the tiny little can too. That's all I need. I'm gonna drink 5 more of these tonight. But yeah, I've been cutting on the alcohol too. It's fun to have a beer every once in a while. I still have a beer on the weekend, but I've been cutting back on that too. It's just the way you feel drinking it some days, and the hangovers too. Like, some days it's bad, but just like that numbing, that urge to like numb yourself. I don't smoke weed anymore. I haven't smoked weed in years, but some days your life just gets so shitty. You just want to numb yourself to it. You don't want to be sober. Sobriety feels like a burden. It's like, I gotta get drunk. I gotta get high. I gotta do all this shit. And you turn to all these, like, look at this shit. It's fucking vape shit. I still do that shit. I don't even like doing this shit, but I just like, oh, gotta have it. It's like my pacifier. Oh, all these bad habits you get into because your life sucks. It's just like, that's what American culture is. We make you miserable and we turn you on to all this self-destructive shit just so you can feel less miserable for a few minutes every day. I mean, I think it's related to like porn and online gambling and just like the junk food industry and all this shit. Hey, RFK's the Health and Human Services leader now. So, hey, maybe there'll be less garbage in our food supply. Hey, you never know. Or things could get much worse. I don't know, but I'm trying to be positive. It's hard to do these days, but if you got any stories, leave them in the comments down below. We can have a discussion. I'll read some comments off to you. We can have like an open discourse about this stuff. You can share things you do to like help your mental and physical health, because you definitely got to do that stuff. I remember this guy, name's Russell, a great dude. I used to work with him. We used to have third shift at my company. But they laid off it. They got rid of third shift. There's no more third shift at my company. They laid everybody off. But there's this guy, Russell, Gen X dude in his 50s, crusty old dude. Big booming voice. You could hear him singing across the shop. But he was like bragging to me. He's like, Hermdo, I haven't been to the doctor in 30 years. And I'm like, seriously, dude? Really? And I was kind of like taken aback by that because, even me, even big, fat, unhealthy Hermdog gets to the doctor every once in a while, but no, he just is saying, like, he never went, and then he gets laid off, and then I heard, like from a friend of his, because a couple of my coworkers still know the guy, and he had, like, some big cardiac issue. I don't know if he had a heart attack or something. There was something related to his heart, like, right after he got laid off. I don't know if he has insurance. I don't know what the deal was. That was like a year ago. I don't know how he's doing now. I'm gonna ask around the shop. I've just been thinking about him the last couple days, but you got to take care of yourself, man. You can't be doing that shit. And he's like bragging about it too. It's like, dude, that's not good. That's not good, man. And I still see people partake in all this unhealthy activities. I do it myself too. I put it on myself too. I still see myself. People are looking at me and look when I'm walking down the street. It's like, look at that fat ass. What's he getting up to? And some of the shit I'm looking at online that pisses me off, and all this garbage. But I got to make a concerted effort to be healthier. You know, but you got to take the time to take care of yourself. And I got to remind myself of that. So I'm going to start going to the gym more often as much as I can. As much as my body will take. I got to get this fucking weight off, man. I've been making all these pronouncements about, oh, I'm doing this and doing that. But, it's at a new setting right now. It's a good time to make a positive change. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. And you guys can hold me to that. Hey, get on my case about that shit. I need like constant, like people getting on my fucking case. I tell my family members, I tell my dad, my sister, my friends, hey, get on my case about this shit because I will neglect it. That's just the way I am. I'm a lazy motherfucker. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you want to toss me a couple bucks, my Cash App is in the bottom right. But yeah, have a good work week. I'll see you later in the week. I got some more cool video ideas, but yeah, all in good time. All in good time. So take it easy. Have a good Sunday night, and I will talk to you guys later.
Ryan Little.